Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, just recently, there was a lot that hit the media concerning Ice Spice and these young women who were coming out and saying, y'all know I have to say allegedly, right? Her friends basically exposing her on her raggedy behavior, if you will. And I'm just going to ask the question, is anybody surprised? And if you are, genuinely, I want to know why. This young lady, I'm talking about Ice Spice, has been letting y'all know that she's about only the most immoral, disrespectful, backstabbing, colorist, probably racist too, industry plant, this, that, and the other. Like, she's been letting y'all know since day one. Let me go ahead and remind everybody who might be confused or who just doesn't know that the only reason why she's famous is because the industry has been shoving her in everybody's faces due to the fact that she's an easy to control, has no talent individual. From the moment she stepped onto the scene, what did she really offer anybody or anything? The fact that she's light-skinned, she has a Coke bottle figure shape, if you will. She has pretty privilege. That's literally the only thing she has going for her. And the fact that she will do whatever them people down there at the industry tells her to do to promote their agendas, which is why they shove her, like I said, in everybody's faces. I've said this before, what we don't confront, what we don't take accountability for, it will come back to bite somebody in the behind. The chickens are just coming home to roost at this point, as they say. Now, there's another young lady, once again, who used to be, allegedly, one of her friends, a rapper by the name of Cleotrapa, who made this like 46 minute long multi-part series, if you will, where she was explaining how she was called at the last minute to participate in Ice Spice's tour. The fact that Ice Spice even has a tour, like that's a whole nother rant video in itself. But she called her talking about, hey, you should come be a part of the tour at the last minute. And everybody was calling this out saying, it's giving you tried to set this girl up for failure. Because allegedly she wanted this girl to either perform a number or do something. But it's hard to be prepared and actually give a performance worth looking at. This is just like, putting two and two together. Whenever you call somebody at the last minute, you don't allow them to have all the people and the necessary things in order to make themselves presentable, to be prepared to do what they have to do. So like I said, it's giving, she tried to set this girl up for failure. She tried to set this girl up to make her look ridiculous. It's my understanding that this young lady wanted to be friends genuinely with Ice Spice, wanted to care about her as a honest and true friend, as like a sister, but she was explaining how she felt like Ice Spice was using her basically to promote herself. Which is sad. Unfortunately, also, real life, you will have people out here who you will try to love genuinely. Doesn't matter what relationship it is, whether it's a friendship, family member, a romantic partner. And instead of actually loving you back, they're just thinking of ways they can take advantage of you and use you and then move on to the next person. Because they're sick in their head or they feel like they're above you, you're beneath them. And that all you're good for is fodder, again, for them to make money off of. And I quote, Cleo began to see Ice Spice as calculated and claimed that Ice Spice uses me for her rollouts and other promo, cause we never chilled on some chill hit bro, she explained. It was always in the blogs the next day and the song is dropping too, end quote. Now, I don't exactly know all this jargon. I done told y'all before, I was raised by old school people, so I'm not really familiar with any of what she's trying to say. What I can ascertain is that it seems like I couldn't just hang out with the girl just to be like a normal friend. It was always some social media industry hot mess that she had going on. Again, exploiting the relationship, just using her for her own benefit. Like I said, if any of y'all know what she was actually talking about when she said that down in the comments, y'all let me know respectfully. Anyways, Cleo went on to say that she felt like, and I quote, Ice Spice was intimidated by her confidence, end quote. And that's not hard to believe. What some people need to understand who are the outside looking in, if you will, when it comes to a lot of these young women, especially in the industry, and in the industry for that matter, doesn't have to be music, it be dancing, oh God, especially like dancing, God forbid, singing, any kind of performing arts, sports. Sometimes these young girls, these young women, they cultivate these very disrespectful attitudes towards other women. They'll come into the sport, the industry, whatever it is, thinking, oh, well, I'm better than her, simply because She came from a higher class background. Her parents are white. She's light skinned. She's biracial. They will instantly think themselves better than the darker skinned young women, or the women who might have came from, the hood, or they didn't have a very good start. They started behind the line, like I said, because maybe they didn't have two parents in the house. Maybe they didn't come from a rich background. They really be looking down on these women, and then they get intimidated whenever they see that, well, for one, they're not these little, whoever they thought that they were beneath them. They're just as talented, even more sometimes. Well, let's be honest, a lot of times, no shade, just being honest. And then they get angry because they can't keep them beneath them. So they'll do these little fake relationships to basically try to humble these women, use them, and then try to keep them, like I said, in a place where they feel like they should be under them. They don't want them to be better. They're already better because they're more talented, but they don't want them to realize that. So they have these, like I said, fake relationships. They put these delusions in these girls' heads while they're just trying to be friends. That's what it's given to me. That's what it seems like to me. Like I said, that Cleotrapa wanted to actually be her friend, but she was just a snake in the grass, like a lot of them are in the industry. This is why there are phrases that people use, such as, there's no such thing as friends in the industry. People are always trying to one-up other people, stab people in the back. They identify people who they either, like I said, can't step on, or who they can weasel their way into a relationship with, and then again, fake friends with, only so they could put them down, so that they could try to be better than these people who they know that they're not. There's no such thing as friends in the industry. Every now and then you might come across some people who are friends because maybe they started their friendship back in the day, they grew up back in the day. There's no such thing as friends in the industry because people are only out for themselves, and they will throw other people under the bus to get what they want. Now, she made a statement saying that she could get over, little small things that happen, mistakes, etc. as a friend. But she said, and I quote, "You actually have one time to show me that you are jealous, intimidated, untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, ingenuine, manipulative, and calculated," end quote. I'm guessing she means before she cuts you off completely. And I hope she means that, because unfortunately some people, and it's usually young women that look like her, they, like I said, really just be wanting to be friends with these other girls and can't understand why they just have to be so disrespectful, racist, or colorist. And they can't just put that aside and be a normal, decent person and accept the love that they're being given by these girls that look like Cleo. They sometimes cannot wrap their head around why these girls have to be so evil and backstabbing. They're thinking, oh, well, if I'm being nice to you, why can't you be nice to me? Mistake number one, don't ever expect you out of somebody else. And I really hope that she means what she says, because it's going to be real upsetting to see that if she trusts this girl again or somebody else like her and then she ends up getting burned. That's what I don't want. I don't like seeing anybody. This goes for everybody. Like getting involved with somebody that you thought you could trust, and then they burn you because they were too busy trying to stab you in the back because of some kind of hidden jealousy or sick-minded hatred that they had, instead of being a decent person because you were a decent person to them, and then you trust them again, and then they burn you again. And it's not about, oh, well, you've forgiven the person so you can have a relationship with them. Yes, you should forgive them, but forgiveness does not equal reconciliation, especially when they can't unscrew their mindsets so that they can be decent persons, decent people, and not treat you like how they treated you before. Some relationships, you got to forgive them, and then you got to cut them off completely, permanently. Because all of this stuff that Ice Spice was displaying towards this young lady, y'all know I have to say allegedly, is of the devil. And not only is it of the devil, it's very dangerous. You cannot afford to be around somebody and giving somebody second chances who have shown you that they can hide very evil, very disrespectful, very bad negative feelings toward you for nothing that you've done to them. Like, this girl, from what I can understand, has done nothing to Ice Spice to deserve what she did to her during this tour. But the fact that she can harbor those kind of evil, sinful, negative feelings towards her, that is not somebody you can trust. It's not somebody you just leisurely give your trust back to, or to, point blank, period. So like I said, some of these people, you got to forgive them, and then you got to act like they don't exist. You just got to move on with your life, because they can't either be trusted again, even if they say, oh, I'm better. I don't think so. Or they're just going to get better at deceiving you before they stab you in the back. Now, remember what I said, cut her off because of some of the stuff that happened during this tour? Because I know somebody was probably thinking, which is raggedy, let me just go ahead and say that, oh, well, her being mean to her, like, what does that have to do with anything? After she confronted Ice Spice about the stuff that was going on that she had did, how she mishandled her, how she mishandled Cleo, all kind of other stuff started happening. She said, oh, it was cute at first, but then things took a turn for the worse after she finally confronted this girl. What have I told y'all about these people in the industry? They want you to be down with whatever they're down for. They want you to allow them to take advantage of you. And when you say no and you stand up to them, they punish you. That's how it always goes. She said everything was going fine, but then everything went to the trash after she confronted Ice Spice about a particular incident, and I quote, security refused to carry her bags, end quote. That is absolutely ridiculous. This is beyond immature. That's, like I said, that's very dangerous to be in that kind of environment. She then went on to explain that the entire team, if I'm not mistaken, was basically just throwing absolute shade at this girl, doing very just disrespectful stuff. And I quote, production would stick her in bathrooms, claiming they didn't have a dressing room for her and she was forced to come out of pocket for her hotel rooms until Ice Spice's hairdresser let her stay with her. She claimed production told her she wasn't in the budget and refused to pay for chicken salad, end quote. Refused to pay for chicken salad. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. And before anybody comes up here with some, well, she wasn't their responsibility. This is blatantly them, like I said, punishing her because of what she did with Ice Spice for calling her out and confronting her. I wouldn't have put it past Ice Spice, y'all know I gotta say allegedly, to tell her team, hey, she thinks she's somebody, make sure she regrets it. Because these people listen to these celebrities like these celebrities are their Lord and Savior. Look at how the fans do. Anyways, on another occasion, and I quote, she discovered a bag she had left in Ice Spice's dressing room was placed outside. She later discovered that $700 had been spent on her credit card, end quote. So you didn't have the audacity to buy the girl chicken salad. Chicken salad is cheap, y'all. She could have went, or whoever could have went to the dollar store, to the Jason's Deli for crying out loud, and bought Cleo some chicken salad or something. But y'all allegedly spent $700 on the girl's card? That is crazy. Now, allegedly, Cleotrapa was not on the payroll, so to speak, for this tour. Some people think it was because she called her at the last minute, but let's be honest, whether or not she had done that, was she really going to put her on the payroll? I don't think so. Because again, she was trying to take advantage of this girl. She wanted to use her to promote herself. That's what people like Ice Spice do. They go get their friends and associates and acquaintances who are more talented than them and then use them for free, basically. Or I could put this person as the opener and I don't have to pay them. Those kind of stunts, which is ridiculous. Which is another reason why they didn't feel too obligated to treat that girl right. Like, if you didn't want to pay for anything because, oh, well, she's not on, the payroll, they could have at least treated her respectfully. Like, you shouldn't have to be paid $50 to pick up a bag for a lady. But anyways, like I said before, she did reveal that she was not paid to be on tour. Like, I don't know when people started asking their friends to tour with them and do stuff for them without paying them. That's trifling. That's raggedy. That's trash raggedy. You don't do stuff like that to people. But again, are we surprised? This is Ice Spice we're talking about. The cover needs to be pulled over. People need to see her for who she really is, which is why I'm glad that Cleo went ahead and made these videos. Because people don't get to sit up and be blind to issues that they don't suffer from. This whole colorism thing that's been going on in our society, in our community, in the industry, people need to keep being reminded about the very real issues that only certain people suffer from in our community, in our society, in the industry. People want to try and bury it so much they want to act like colorism is a thing of the past, like it's some kind of myth that it doesn't happen. Oh no, absolutely not. Like, we're going to put the truth out there and y'all are going to see it whether y'all want to or not. Until somebody puts a stop to it or we make it shameful to do these kind of things to people. Like I said, I'm a firm believer and some things need to be shamed. Stuff like colorism and racism. And when people get tired of being shamed for their very ridiculous, sick-minded, and unwarranted hatred of people just because they have dark skin, then maybe some of them will learn how to be a decent person and think twice before they're disrespectful or before they're hateful. Now, something else Cleotrapa said, and I quote, "I was played, betrayed, and unpaid." She explained, "I never had a problem with not being paid. By the way, I knew I just want everybody to stop thinking I was paid because I wasn't." End quote. So basically, she's letting people know, like, don't sit up and make assumptions and say, oh, well, she paid you when she didn't. So she went all through that for free, essentially. And she was saying, well, she wanted to do this, I'm assuming, for her friend. But again, people need to stop doing that. No, you need to go get your coins, so to speak. Y'all know how I feel about these industry individuals of the secular kind. But if you're going to do all of that, if you're going to go on tour with somebody, they ask you to come to tour with them at the last minute, don't be doing that, oh, you my friend, I'm going to do it for free. That's a load of hogwash. You need to be paid, point blank, period. And if that was really your friend, she would have paid you, point blank, period. Like, ain't nothing for free anywhere except salvation. You accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that's for free. But you don't work for free in the industry. And see, that's another layer of how disrespectful Ice Spice and her team was to this girl. How generous she was to come there and not charge them and not be like, I don't care if I came here at the last minute. Y'all are going to put me on the payroll. Y'all are going to make sure y'all cut me a check after every show, after every city, or I'm leaving. That's what she could have said, but she didn't. And they couldn't even get the girl chicken salad. Apparently, they had her hungry on the bus, passed up all the Mickey D's. Allegedly, that's what they were saying on YouTube. They didn't treat that girl with any kind of respect, despite her trying to be respectful and nice towards them. That's why you can't be nice to some people. I said some people. Learn who people are, and when they show you who they are, act accordingly. Anyways, another layer to all of this, people were bringing up another young lady in the industry. I don't know if she's a rapper or a singer by the name of Baby Storm, or I think her name is Baby Stormy, one of the two, who basically had already come out and exposed Ice Spice, if you all remember, not too long ago. She said she met Ice Spice when they were in grade school and that the girl bullied her. And then when she saw that she was going on her way to be famous, that's when she wanted to be nice. That's when she wanted to be friends. The young artist said that all she did was use her for her contacts, use her to get another step up in the industry. Once again, this is what people like Ice Spice do. They use people, they step on them to get to the next level, and then they're doing things that other people will not compromising in ways that other people will not, to get to the next level after they use people to get from one point to the next. Once again, where there's smoke, there's fire, and not everybody is lying about these celebrities and the things that they do, the mindsets and the behaviors that they have towards people. It is sad that so many people have to come out and expose a person, expose a celebrity, for some people to finally start opening their eyes. Of course, there were always people who did see these people for who they are. They didn't need X amount of people to expose them. That just reinforced what they already knew because they were paying attention. Once again, when they saw this person, this celebrity like Ice Spice, for who they were, they believed them the first time. They weren't with the colorist hot mess. They were saying, nah, she's a problem. She stabs people in the back. She's disrespectful. She's clearly working with the devil here and all of the vices that come with it. She's not to be messed with. She's not to be supported. She's not to be looked up to. Anyways, this has brought up a lot of conversations concerning colorism. A lot of people have been putting out their experiences that they have gone through, unfortunately, in their personal lives concerning colorism, in the schools, on their jobs. There were people, young black women, even older black women, dark-skinned black women, they're talking about how they were denied jobs because they were dark-skinned, how when they were in school, they had friends who were light-skinned who treated them very poorly, threw them under the bus, stabbed them in the back, again, because of the sick and twisted mindset that some of these women, I said some of them, think that they are above dark-skinned black women. It's very disgusting. There's a lot of stereotypes that run amok in the industry and in our community, in our raggedy culture, that have reinforced a lot of these women and made them blow their heads up. It's really sad. And unfortunately, whenever these young women would call this out, they would get told it's just their insecurities. Oh, it's all in their heads. They're just being delusional. Don't nobody want to be jealous of them or throw them under the bus. They would really tell these women that it was all in their heads and gaslight them for calling out colorism. Or even almost worse, telling them that it was their fault. That something that they did, warranted them being discriminated against because they were dark-skinned. And oh, well, maybe if you don't bring it up, it wouldn't happen. But oh, if black women turned around and had this same energy for everybody else and their problems, then they'd be calling us all kinds of names, disrespectful and derogatory names. See how the culture in our society and our community doesn't keep it 100% across the board. They pick and choose. But like I said, the best thing we can do is call it out and keep calling it out until something is done about it. Like I said, people don't get to bury their heads in the sand, especially if they directly benefit from colorism in the industry, in the schools and the workplaces, like people like Ice Spice, or they're not affected by it in a negative way, like dark-skinned black women are often in the industry, in the community, in the schools, in the workplaces. As I've said before, the best thing we can do is speak out about it, raise awareness, and fight back. Sometimes that's all we can do other than praying. Let's not discount that. I told y'all before on this channel, we're not going to pass up the spiritual, the God, the faith-based aspect about everything. Y'all let me know if y'all think about all of this and how y'all feel down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.